A paranormal film production brings you the Paranormal Darkside. Ha 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 ha. For many millennia, the Druids, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Chinese, the ancient Romans, and even the ancient Greeks have told of ghost stories. But tonight we delve into the darker aspect of things. So won't you join me? In a small town in Northern California along the coast, nestled up against the redwood forest, sat an old farmhouse on an empty field on the edge of town. Now this old abandoned farmhouse had a dark, creepy past, which we will get into later in the story. So I worked for a company that cleared out logs out of the stream so the salmon could make their way upstream to spawn. After a hard day's work, we would go back to the dorms to get ready for a night out on the town. Now to get to town, it was about a mile walk down a lonely 2-lane road. To get to this town, we had to walk past this creepy farmhouse. As you walked past it, you felt like you were being watched, even though this place had sat empty for many years. I walked by this place many a times, and each time it got creepier. One Saturday afternoon, I was walking to town alone, and as I was passing by this place, I saw farm animals that looked real as you and me. I thought nothing of it, as there was other farm property in the area where these animals could have come from. As I got 10 yards past the place, something told me to turn around and look back at that farmhouse. Now mind you, this place sat on an empty field along the road, and you could practically see all the way around the building. When I turned to look, there was no animals in sight. These animals were in a small fenced-in area and no way for them to get anywhere fast. I picked up my pace as it was getting darker, and I did not want to be near that house alone at night. I made it to town to tell my co-workers what I had saw. One of the locals told us that the place was used as a slaughterhouse in the 60s, but the owner died of mysterious causes, and the place sat empty ever since. At the end of the night, we all walked past the place at a faster than normal pace to get back to the dorms. The next day, we stayed in and talked about what we heard the night before. A few of us, including me, had an interest in the strange and paranormal activity. We set it in our minds to go the following weekend to investigate the strange happenings at this farmhouse. A week passed, and we gathered some things to set out to investigate the strange things going on at this place. Once we arrived, we were hesitant to go in, as we all felt like we were being watched, not only by passerbys, but from inside the house itself. We finally got up the courage to go in just before dark. As we entered, we noticed the place was empty except for some tools hanging from the ceiling and the walls. These tools were old and rusted. Tools such as knives, hooks, axes, and saws, all the tools needed to slaughter animals. Standing in the house, I felt an uneasy feeling as if this place had a more nefarious backstory. We all also felt constantly being watched. Me and a couple other guys wanted to get out, but were urged to stay by the rest. One guy lit some candles and brought out a Ouija board. They said that we want to communicate with the spirits before we leave. I stood back to look around as the others sat by the board and began. Not 5 minutes in, I noticed spirits of the animals that I had seen in front of the place the week before. Then I noticed a spirit of an old man as he began to slaughter one of the spirit animals. As I turned back to my coworkers to point out what I was seeing, I saw the scared look in their eyes. As I turned back, I noticed the old man's spirit was staring back at me with red glowing eyes. Then another spirit appeared, but this time it wasn't that of an animal. Instead, it was another person hanging from one of the hooks, hanging from the ceiling. Just as I saw that, a strong breeze passed through me and blew out the candles. Everyone got up and we all headed outside to the road, leaving all the stuff behind. We looked at the house one last time and noticed a blood-red glow coming from inside. We took off back to the dorms as fast as we could. From that day forth, we never spoke to anyone what we saw and never walked past that house at night. Now it has been almost 30 years since that night, and no telling if that place is still standing. But what I saw that night will haunt me for the rest of my life. I hope you enjoyed this story from the Paranormal Darkside. Ha 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 ha. If you like this video, be sure to comment down below, hit the like button, and share with all your friends. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I post my next video. So until next time, I shall see you on the dark side. Ha ha ha!